All right, welcome to the Patriot Hour for Tuesday, November 6th. I'm Michael, I'm your host. We got Scott in the studio, a special treat, folks.
Good morning, Election Day.
Yes, Red Wave Tuesday, right?
That's what we're hoping for. That's right. Got my sticker this morning. Got out and vote early. I was surprised the lines weren't as long as expected, I suppose.
Now, they've changed it around the country the last few years, right? Like, it used to be certain times. Now it's kind of all day. It's always been all day.
Yeah, I think I seen ours was 6 to 6. So 6 in the morning to 6 at night.
Okay.
I guess it just depends on your precinct and how they run things. But I'm in a rural area anyway, so I bet maybe 1,000 people go through that little area. So when I was there was about 100 people.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It was in and out, in and out. I think a lot of people are... from what I noticed, and I kind of sat there when I got done and just kind of looking around, I was making it look like I was doing a split ticket and taking my time. And I sat there and I literally watched 9, 10, 11 people just come in. So they're doing straight ticket. They're doing, whether it's blue or red, but you can tell they're just boom. So hopefully that's good news. I would think that I don't know, I guess it could go both ways. If you were doing a Republican straight ticket, you're doing it because you love what's been going on, and if you're going the other direction, you just hate Trump. So, I mean, it's...
Why don't you reread 24:16 to everybody? Let me get to it. 24:16.
There it is.
Right here.
One. Yeah. Panic in D.C. If you witness members of Antifa or any other people or organization stationed at key voter locations making threats or attempting to use scare tactics, voter intimidation, please contact local authorities immediately and report the incident or incidences. Internal comms suggest preparations are being made and organized to conduct a 29-plus location push, battleground locations. See something, say something. Uninformed and non-uninformed personnel will be... uninformed and non-uniformed personnel will be stationed across the country in an effort to safeguard the public. If you witness anything out of the ordinary with regards to staff, officials, machinery, and equipment failures and or malfunctions, unusual grouping, buses dropping off people with guide or instructor, voter prevention, blocking, or other suspicious activity, please contact local authorities immediately and report the incident or incidences. See something, say something, take a picture and or video only when safe to do so, Q. And what he means by that is it is illegal to use your phone, camera, or etc.
Inside or outside in the lines is probably what they're more...
Well, I find that one part pretty interesting, buses.
Yeah, bringing them in.
Is that really happening? That better not be happening unless... Yeah.
Seeing this might not where we're at, not so much. That would be a little bit more...
It'd stand out.
But man, in some of these bigger cities... It probably just is.
Maybe that bus pulls up 5 blocks away from and then they just...
They literally, probably on the bus, they have, this is what the voting form is going to look like.
Yeah.
And
this is the one you fill out, right?
The right side of the paper, folks. Right. The right side, whatever they're...
And for you non-English speaking people, that one that says DEM, that's the bubble. Yeah. Go ahead and fill that, and then just turn it in.
Yes. Now, we've practiced this for a month. You guys should be, have this down.
Right.
I don't know, but that's what it sounds like. So, hey.
The chatter on the old interwebs and the radio this morning on my way over was, there were some honest people saying, and I agree with them, a little nervous about are the millennials or the Z group or the X, however they're calling the 18 to 32-year-olds. If they get out and they vote, I would assume they're going one direction, not the one that I would want. But, man, what if they get out and vote by the numbers? I sure hope the dieharders on the other side, show up to vote. A lot of times midterms, nobody really votes. But this one looks like it's probably going to be a record year.
It's funny. This morning I was doing some running around. I told you about when you got here and before you got here. And I went through a fast food place or whatever, right? Pretty traditional one most people would know of. Big yellow sign. Let's put it that way.
Does it have big gold
it's a big
arches
M.
or something?
But
we don't get kickbacks from them, so we can't use their name.
I was running down the schedule for today for Ben or whatnot and telling him what was going on. But I pull up and I was like, oh, hold on a minute. He's on speaker in the car. And, I get to the window and the guy is like, hey, did you have this? I'm like, real, and I've seen him before. So I was like, hey, did you get out and boat today?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, no, I don't
care.
I don't know enough. I really just don't know enough. And he was trying to use that. And I literally said, I was like, that's because you didn't take the time to study it.
Right.
Like it's your own, and, Ben starts laughing and just in the speaker in the car starts laughing.
Oh boy.
But it was wasn't trying to be rude to the guy, but it was, don't use that defense of like, well, I know nothing. And it's like, well, don't you watch this show? Yeah. What happened? And, he could tell you everything from season 3 to 2, who's in what relationship and all the dynamics.
Yep.
So it's
It's the other one. My vote doesn't matter. Well, if 1 million people say my vote don't matter,
it really does.
That adds up.
Yeah, it adds up to not matter.
And by the way, that's the one right that you have that. Gosh, there's people in this world that would kill for that opportunity, and in our history, people did kill and die for that right. So it doesn't take much, 5-10 minutes out of your life. I'm sure some of you guys, and go ahead and let us know what your precincts look like. I mean, is it for midterms? I would not expect anybody to have to stand in line for too long. Not at least not like the election last year or 2 years ago. But
yeah.
I'm curious to know. Let us know, because I'm not going to believe the news coverage and media, but is it a 10-minute wait? Is it an hour wait? Do you see things that you haven't seen? I mean, I can tell you.
Definitely leave that in the comments.
Yeah.
Well, what about the fact of, like you just said, getting out and voting, it matters. People, when they say it doesn't, and we had this discussion before, but it's like, the electoral, we get it. A state votes, it's worth so many. And your individual vote might seem like it really don't matter in the scheme of things, but we have elected officials. They're supposed to look at the state's vote, and there's very few times that it goes the opposite way, where you have this person voted in
2% of the time.
The whole state.
2% of the time in history.
Okay,
it's gone
so
the other way.
that's where they're like, I don't care what the people are saying now. I'm here, and I'm going to vote this way, and they've casted votes opposite.
Correct.
But these local votes really matter. From your, these are the ones that your vote kind of works a little differently than the presidential electoral. But it's still it adds up, folks. So don't ever let somebody say it doesn't matter. Or
these are the people we're electing today. These are the people that make a motion for a bill or vote on a bill. These are the people that are weighing. I mean, Trump as a leader can do what the president is a big position. We all understand that.
These are the people that listen to us when we do vote in 2020 to cast our vote.
Exactly.
Look at the ACA, the other words known as the Obamacare. Look at trying to overturn that. Now you need a supermajority unless they bring in the nuclear ball, and nobody really wants to do that, because that really it's not a good option, because then you look like a dictator. So if you look at some of these things, overturning the ACA, or border security, or ending ICE, or your Second Amendment, or Roe versus Wade, all these things are always voted on, and you have to pay particular attention to what's going on now. The open borders and the ending of ICE. I mean, that's kind of fallen to the wayside. But if we're following something down here, we're tracking. I think it was 42. Right now, the senators that are actual in power at seating and not going to change is 42. Republican and 23 seats of the Democrats. They're not up for grabs. What is up for grabs is 35 seats. So you'd have to kind of do your own math here. I was trying to do that before we went on the show, but let's just say that the blue side, there is a blue wave, and they get all 35 seats. Well, that's 58 to 42. Bam. There's not. It's going to be a lame duck, and that's the worst thing for us right now. And I don't mean that you have to support Trump or not, but nothing will get done for the next 2 years if it's lame duck. Yeah. Let me pull this up so the viewers can see what we're talking about here.
I believe with I think the polls are out, and even the left-right medias are even saying it's not likely that the Democrats are going to win the Senate.
So what is this saying? Before today, they had 47, but right now there's all that up for grabs.
So the 23 in blue and the 42 in red are the ones that are not up for election today. Those are sitting members right now. That's where it stands right now. So there's so you can see, oh my gosh, if there's in fact
but before today, like yesterday, there was 47 to blue and 51 to red.
Correct.
But still, right now, there's 42 red, no matter what, and 23 blue.
So what is it? That's 70, 75, and 35 is, that's kind of weird. I'm forgetting D.C., District of Columbia gets 2. Every state gets 2. So.
Oh, right here. Oh wait, no. Okay, so here's all the numbers, but we're not getting any yet.
Right. It's way too early. So anyway, the point of this is, if for some reason the left media is wrong and the right media hasn't even really talked about it, they're not proposing or suggesting that there's going to be a big red wave and we're going to win all 35 seats. But if that happened, oh my gosh, now you have a supermajority.
Oh yeah.
So Obamacare gone, and they'll be able to get so much done.
And we already had the majority, and to get back there, we only need 9.
There you go. That's now I
Right.
see it. Correct.
So we had 51. Now we're at 42 for red. If 51's a majority, or their line.
Right.
So there we go.
So if you look at that now,
Out of the 35, we only need 9, 10, 11, 12. Any of that's just super.
Democrats are in a real bad position.
Yeah.
They have to win a lot just to get majority, and they can't even get a supermajority.
Yeah, we need 9 to get majority. Am I right on that?
Nine.
Yeah, 9 to get
42,
majority.
nine. Yep, that'd
Gets
be
us 51.
Correct.
And then for them,
They need a shit ton.
Yeah.
Oh, pardon my language. But we, and I say we because I am a constitutionalist, but I'm leaning red. But look how easily we could get some supermajority, and you don't hear the media talking about that, because if a lot of conservative voters actually was potted in their head, and I think the Republicans did a really bad job at doing that. But if they potted it in their head for the last 9 months, if we can win 20 some of these and get supermajority, we can overthrow blah blah blah. We can overturn, and we don't need the Democrats. I think they failed right there, because I think most people would be like, oh my God, what if I wasn't going to go out and vote? Maybe I was one of those guys that Then I kept hearing that. Yes, because if you have a Trump in office and then you get a supermajority in the Senate, oh my Lord, so many good things can happen. He can get everything done he wants to get done, and not to. I hate to say it, but you're going to see you would see a lot of Hollywood heads explode.
Oh yeah.
They're freaking out. They're already saying again. There's several of them.
Well, what would you say?
We're moving. Well, we've heard this same song and dance 2 years ago. So
What would you say to anybody sitting at home, when they get off work later, and then they're seeing like before it's, Hillary's got it in the bag. You don't even need to go off the couch and vote. I mean, if they're hearing that today from their, their own states that are, the opposite's winning, or even that their candidate's winning, doesn't it work both ways? Kind of like, couldn't the fake news do it this time? Like, the Republicans already got it, and pitch that, so then a lot of people don't go out and vote, but then the actual other one could.
I think that's
merge.
a crime.
Yeah.
They can suggest, but I think it's
weren't they doing that before? They weren't telling people that. They were just
suggesting.
They were showing like, look, folks, she's already got it in the bag. They weren't saying don't go out and vote, but they were just the way they promote it. So they don't really say don't go out and vote.
My answer would be, go vote. Turn your TV and radio off. Don't pay attention to it. Go vote.
Don't listen to us even, other than go vote.
Go vote. That's the easiest thing to do. I know some people don't think it's a pain in the butt. Go vote. It's not even a God-given right. It was earned, So before you go vote, turn the TV off, turn the radio off, just go vote your conscience. A lot of people say, I think I'm going to go there. Once you get into that polling station, I think most people kind of vote with their heart and their wallet.
Yeah.
And they don't say, well, they said last night. They don't remember the garbage politics that most of us can't stand it. We can't wait for the elections to be over so we can get back to. It's nice to listen to the radio without every 30 seconds somebody saying, well, Mr. Smith or Mrs. Smith, she's a liar, he's a liar. We're all like. Just go in there and vote.
And exactly what you're just saying. So here's a Q post that reposted from August. He did it yesterday to re-show us, but it goes, do you believe actual polls were conducted? This is back in 2016. Look at that. Clinton endorsements by daily newspapers, all these, and then Trump, nothing.
Right.
They show nothing.
Right.
Do you believe actual polls are even conducted? Pre-election polls, HRC favored 90 to 98%. Reconcile against results. Why is there emphasis put out on polls? Define human nature. The general psychological characteristics, feelings, and behavioral traits of humankind regard as shared by all humans. Point 1, fake news logic. If people believe the odds are hopeless, their candidate will win, do they still make the effort to vote?
I would guess not.
Point 2, if people believe the odds are overwhelming, their candidate will win, do they still make the effort to vote?
I would say the odds say no.
And that's what we just kind of talked about, right?
Is it no, I'm just wasting my time. I
Yeah.
already know he or she's
yeah.
going to win or lose. So it doesn't,
then-
it's not like my vote. But if they can convince you a million people
One
to
way
do
or the
that,
other.
boy, what?
So what about point 3? If people believe the majority of people feel a certain way about a certain candidate or something, do they go with the majority so they can feel accepted?
The old I like to vote for the winner.
We see it in sports. Bandwagon jumpers, we call them. And it's like, oh, you didn't like them last year. Now you got all their gear on. Well, they're winners.
No loyalty. No,
I'm a winner.
Right. No foundation. They have no credibility. No credible
We know
foundation.
a lot. Those are people that don't think too much for themselves, but they want to be like, well, I hang out with all these people, so I'm a Republican today. Or I'm going to, you know.
Well, I'm a diehard Cubs fan, so I can tell you my foundation's pretty firm.
Yes.
I've had a miserable life watching them lose, and then lately. So that feels good. But
And you know that, like I know that about you. When I think of Scott, I know like foundation. You don't ban jumps,
No.
and I know you politic wise. I know you on some of the sports. So, but we do also know these people.
there's
we,
a large
we do
group.
know these people.
The young generation.
Yes.
You'll see it on the Facebook and on the Snapchats. Like a couple Super Bowls ago, when what's his name would do this, the Superman Cam Newton from Carolina. Nobody cared about Carolina Panthers, and then they got good and they went to the Super Bowl, and then boom, everybody's go Panthers, and then that next season I'm a Panthers fan. Oh, they fell apart. Oh man, look now, the Patriots are doing good again. Or Atlanta, it was called Hot Atlanta. Everybody jumped on that bandwagon. It's like, oh, for Christ's sake. It's fun to watch, but I bet there's millions of voters like that's what scared me during the presidential election, and I thought that was unfair, and Trump was right. And I'm not here saying, oh, it's not, it's unfair, but it truly was, because when you had the majority of the media every day and every night telling the millennials, telling people in general, oh, there's no way he can win. You've seen it on HBO. You've seen it on every talk show. Right now, who's the most likely person to win the president? And the one gal on HBO, she was set up. She was the only conservative on there, Ann Coulter or whoever it was.
Yeah.
Well, right now, Donald Trump. And they all looked at her and called her crazy.
Bill Maher. It was a Bill Maher
Right.
Friday night show. Yeah.
But then you've seen it on
Out of the Republican Party, who's number one, probably most likely candidate to win right now?
Right.
Right now, if I had to choose, Donald Trump. And then
they discredited her, but they discredited everybody. So and I think that kind of backfired, because a lot of Republicans came out and went, we're going to vote anyway. But how many people, right up till election night, well, Hillary's going to win this thing. So how many votes did they get for that just because somebody wanted to win? I want to vote for the winner.
Yeah, no, that's what
I have no idea what the politics are, but I want to win.
That's number 3 that
Yeah.
it gets into that most. If they project what's happening, that they know that they've done enough research, propaganda, media, that they know just by saying something over and over and over, they're going to get a group of people that will latch on to, well, I'm voting for the winner. I didn't know who I was voting for today, but I'm going to vote for. That way I can talk in social circles and be accepted. It's sick, folks. It's a sick.
It's got to be real tough. I have family on the West Coast. In one of my businesses, I've been to every state. I've been to a lot of the big cities all over. It's fun to travel and see the difference in people. It must be real tough to be a diehard liberal in a prominent conservative area, and then I have proof of this. I mean, I was an example of it. And then the other way around, it's real tough to be conservative and go into a diehard liberal situation. On some of my travels and when I visit family in that big state of California, I was outnumbered. And if I wanted to enjoy my time and get along with everybody, I kind of had to pipe down a little bit about my politics. But then they'll set you up. Hey, what do you think about this? I'm not really going to give you an answer because I'm outnumbered 100 to 1.
Yeah.
I would love to be honest with you and tell you, but I know what's going to happen. I'm a Hoosier. I'm a stupid Hoosier from Indiana. What you thinking? So it's got to be tough, and I can appreciate it. But the media needs to do a better job. I'm not saying pass a law, but I think like 30 days prior to any election, I don't think they should be able to show support for any candidate. Kind of like sports.
Yeah.
The commentators, by rule, cannot say, I'm rooting for Green Bay Packers.
Well, they have it in
They can't.
the politics can't, or close to within 30 days. If you're a government contractor, it's called the Hatch Act, and you can be charged with politicking. And if you're paid, if you're a government employee, there's certain rules, and I think some people have violated it, and that'll maybe possibly come out.
If any of you out there have any information on that, or where we can go and look some of that up, or you know for a fact and you can just tell us, are there such rules in places like that? I mean, I don't think it's in the media yet. I mean, they can still, right up to election night, they were doing, she's going to win, she's going to win. Remember the one guy when, they kept, what do you call that? You're better at that, but when you put together like a compensation of that night, the Homer Simpson one, still the best
compilation.
The one guy was losing his mind. He's like, so what? He's already won 4 or 5 of these states. Hillary's still going to win. She's still an 8%. And then it got deeper into that, and he said, oh, for F's sake, we have to win Ohio. We need Ohio to win. Oh, there goes Ohio to Trump. And he lost his mind.
So look at this.
Do you live in a political bubble? Oh, boy. Are there other viewers seeing this? Look at that.
I will make them see.
Now, we've always known that, but most people that follow this know this. Rural areas are usually conservative, and populated areas are usually Democrat. And it's all comes down to the politics and the entitlement programs, the poor, the needy.
Well, these are high areas of the big cities, and then that's where a lot of illegals are as well.
Which is also which is also where all of the major media outlets are at. The newspapers, the New York Times. It's political suicide to be a conservative and run for mayor in any big city or for any city council. I mean, if you look at the poll sheets, I did notice, and I wanted to bring this up, there's like 4 or 5 positions in my local county that were being unopposed and have always been unopposed. No Republicans run against these people, and I'm thinking, why not? Oh, that's right, it's political suicide. You can't win. You're going against a blue machine.
What was I wanting to show you real quick here? Read this from yesterday. Let me find it. Nothing long.
By the way, I don't want to see any comments who you voted for. It's none of my business. That's one thing I think is still should stay private. But go ahead and when you ring the bell or leave a comment, give us a thumbs up you voted, or and if you didn't vote, I would love to know why. You're not going to win that argument with me, but I would appreciate, and I wouldn't say I'll respect your opinion, but if you have a special reason why you didn't or can't vote, I'd like to know. There's not really too many good excuses of why you can't.
So yesterday, this guy here, this Twitter, Q-linked to this Twitter.
Okay.
This Periscale. Hold on.
What number does the passcode add up to for Anons? What number does the passcode add up to?
So this is yesterday. Want to have a conversation directly with @real Donald Trump today? In 15 minutes at 11 a.m., the president will be on the phone, live, call in now.
17.
Yeah.
Passcode, if you add those numbers, 116234, the magic number is 17. There's the 17 again. I think that was done in fun, maybe. See the video of him last night making the Q symbol. There you go.
This is
this is the other one, but yeah. So look to your left of the screen there, and you see the green Q. It got covered up by the Trump sign, but you'll see this again. Boom, boom, boom.
Right there.
Boom, boom, boom.
One more time. At the very beginning, there's the Q.
Watch Trump's right hand. Acknowledges. Right. Here he acknowledges. Boom, boom, boom. 1, 2, 3.
Air Q.
Yeah, this one's cool. I like this one. This is Cleveland yesterday, or 2 days ago.
It's horrible quality.
Yeah, I don't know who shot that video, but there you go. See that? The circle with the slash, and then boom, boom,
boom, boom again.
Boom, boom, boom.
That might have been the same thing, just from a different angle. Was it? No.
No. Well, you know what?
November 5th.
Look at the tie.
Cleveland. That was Cleveland.
Yeah.
The other one was Cleveland too.
Well, the tie will give it away.
Red.
That's a red one with. I can't. The video quality sucks on that one. So that's a red tie, solid red. And then I see a finish the red wall sign. So go back to the other one, so we can.
Love the green Q something. Okay, so
go back to that green video. So we know a red tie with a red sign. finish the wall sign. I don't see it. He is wearing a red tie. I don't see finish the wall sign. Who knows? Well, so this is live Cleveland. Yeah, maybe it was.
Yeah, some anonymous put, yep, Air Q delivery, like it was an air guitar, but it was Air Q.
Yeah.
And then Q put, trolling the fake news media is fun.
Yeah, you remember the day when we first started this, the media wasn't talking about Q. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago, but nobody cared. The media wasn't following it. And then the phenomenon hit, and the numbers started growing, and it scared them. So now they start talking about Q, and now we're basically in a cult. It's wait a minute, you didn't care about us before, but now that our numbers are rising, you're trying to shame us and make, oust us to be
D-class is
vigilantes. But we're not Antifa, folks. We're Q. We're QAnons. We're not running around with black robes and masks on, throwing smoke bombs and kicking old ladies in the shin.
Look at this one. D-class is coming. And now we got a Twitter of George Papadopoulos. This came yesterday. This is one guy that was on the guys with illegal FISAs on them by the Obama administration. Me, Carter Page, Flynn, Manafort have been silenced. A FOIA, Freedom of Information Act request on my FISA should be very interesting. Reading in case declassification doesn't occur. Shocked the New York Times is asking for Page's FISA to remain sealed. And then D-class is coming. Remain in the public light for safety. So Q's saying they're going to keep George in the public light.
So he doesn't get killed.
Yeah. Do you see us? Q reporting for duty. So you're talking about California. Here we go.
Yeah.
A couple of...
Yeah, be careful in California, folks. You're outnumbered, but stand strong and tall. But you are outnumbered. I don't know, though. Some of those areas are starting to go red. The state won't.
Let me see this Papadopoulos. He had put out another one.
I'm raising money for support.
Right here. The death threats and slander have begun. That can only mean one thing. Declassification of FISA, abuse, and the exposure of attempt by Australia and the UK sabotage to Trump is near. It's getting ready to come out. See, Trump already authorized it. But as a last-minute good faith, they gave it over to Huber and Horowitz to make sure there was nothing in there that was going to affect any of the background stuff they've been doing.
Yeah.
So it's coming. I don't think they wanted to politicize that. They could have done that and got a lot more votes just based off all the corruption that's going to be shown. But I think it was just, this was done organic.
They really do have to keep him in the light then, because if he quietly goes away or drifts.
Oh, there it is. They did post it. The death threats have begun. So the death threats and slander have begun.
I can only mean one thing, blah, blah, blah. Yep.
And Q puts, we put the spotlight on him for this very reason. He has no choice now but to remain in the light. This is not a game.
No, it's his life.
Once you take care of yours, please help Canada. Q, like some anonymous. The world will follow. Thank Merkel.
Wait a minute. Once you take care of yours,
United States.
Please help.
Please help Canada. Q, please Q, the world will follow. Thank Merkel.
I do love Canada. They just made it real. I used to go up there fishing. Now it's almost impossible to get in and out.
All right, let's close this down. We'll read this, the very last one from Q that's come out. This, by the way, Scott, this is a new board for Q. Look at this. It's pretty cool. They got players, global themes. They got videos that are linked. There's a Where We Go One, We Go All prayer wall.
I've been using that a lot lately, that acronym.
Yeah.
I get a lot of good feedback, or people
You can
asking.
click right here and get all of Trump's executive orders.
No kidding.
On this board, I can hit POTUS, see the tweet, POTUS tweet.
Yeah.
I can
turn it off and on.
If I just hit that, it'll bring in all his tweets in the order that they're around Q post even. So.
Oh, cool.
But as of right now, we just have Q post turned on. But go ahead and read this last one.
Okay, this is about saving America. The entire world is watching. Patriots from around the world are praying for America. We are all bound by a feeling deep inside, a feeling that cannot be publicly expressed for fear of ridicule, a feeling that challenges the mainstream narrative against that which we are told to accept and dare not question. Put simply, that people are being abused by those in power and time is running out. Remember the battles of Lexington and Concord, give me liberty or give me death. For far too long we have been silent and allowed our bands of strength that we once formed to defend freedom and liberty to deteriorate. Whoa. We became divided. We became weak. We elected traitors to govern us. We allowed evil to prey on us. Those who claimed to represent us gave us false hope, made false promises. The evil and corruption only grew. This is more than party politics. Amen. This is about restoring old glory. This is about saving our land and our people from those who wish us harm. This is about preserving our republic. This is about preserving our safety. This is about restoring our strength. This is about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This is about protecting our children. Oh, man, that's a big one. This is about saving America. We are all God's children. We are fathers. We are mothers. We are daughters. We are sons. We are brothers. We are sisters. We do not look at race. We do not look at skin color. We are united in these states of America. We are and will always be patriots. We must rise again. We must unite again. We must fight again for God and country. Please answer the call and vote. God bless America. Where we go one, we will go all.
Nice.
Q. I like that. That's
Yes.
almost like a Lincoln meets JFK meets Reagan meets Trump meets John Adams. Sam,
Yeah.
I mean, that speech is all. I love it. Can we get to a point where we're just saying we're Americans and we just want to just? You want me to read that one?
No,
too?
I was just looking at it. I read that one earlier, but that is, I think that's a Reagan. Freedom was never more than one generation away from extinction.
Yes.
We didn't pass it to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same. One day we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it was once like in the United States when men were free.
I'd like to think we're always going to be free, but I think it was Adams that said, and the words might be wrong. I'll look up the quote later, but I use it often. Within every 50 years, a sovereign country should bleed within to appreciate its freedoms, something along those lines.
So you don't forget. And
we fought a lot of foreign wars lately. World War II was probably the last great one, and it wasn't really for our freedom, but it was for a large part of the world's freedom. It was an important war, but I think we've forgotten, and I hate to admit that, but on 9/11, that kind of sparked. That was something, I don't know, maybe it was planned, but it sparked unity. It sparked patriotism, and a lot of these young kids they weren't even around during then, or they were too young to even remember. They don't want their freedoms. I don't want anybody to ever feel the way we all did on that day, where you just feel like you just got punched right in the throat, and I don't need something like that to happen again for me to feel that way, but I can certainly understand why one of our founding fathers suggested the fact that every generation should probably hurt a little bit to understand what today is all about. So I'll end with that.
all right, you heard it here. That was Scott. We're going to shut this one down. We're at the 35-minute mark. Get this one posted. We got Nate coming in studio. I got to get out and vote yet. We're going to we got a little something special lined up for that. Can't talk too much about it, but I do keep tidbitting about it. That way it just keeps you guys interested.
Big things going on behind scenes.
Big things going on behind scenes.
Very humbling.
Yes. All right, Scott, Mike, Patriot
Get out and
Hour.
vote. Go vote.
And vote. Get out and vote. No excuses, folks. Don't listen to anything telling, well, I don't need to. They already told me this person's winning. So don't listen to it.
None
Don't
of it
believe
matters. Just go vote.
All right, we'll see you back here real soon.